All right, well, hi guys, welcome back to another episode of The Literary Tasting. My name is Jessica.
My name is Annie.
And today, we don't have a drink. Normally on our podcast, we do like to have a drink and a read, but this week we only have a read because the holidays are coming up. And frankly, apparently when you turn 24 and you have one glass of wine,
Yeah. Things go really south
you have
really
to shit
fast.
buckets for like 3 days after. And I already shat buckets this morning, so I don't want to do it again tomorrow.
We're facing the repercussions of Friday currently. So, do the math.
The buckets coming out of me are from Friday.
Right. So,
but before we get on with our read, please like the video and subscribe and follow us on social media.
Before watching any
I don't
of it.
care if you don't like it. Haven't you ever heard of doing something nice for another person around the holidays?
It's the holiday season. Have pity on me.
Don't you want to be on the nice list? Ooh. Anyways.
So, we have a drink, we read a book, we gab about it. We're drinkless, but we do have a book this week. We are reading The Striker by Ana Huang. If you know anything about me, it's not my favorite author, so sorry. But, we got through it, and we have things to say. Now, before we get into the actual plot and everything else, our trigger warnings. Now, I mentioned this to you at another time, but before I read like any of the Twisted books, I did not check the trigger warnings, which is probably part of the reason why I was so gooped and gagged. They were shocking, especially for someone who didn't realize that they were intentionally shocking.
To be fair, they were called the Twisted series. I don't really know how that went like over your head.
I never said I was a mathematician.
Right.
Yeah. So I decided to Google the trigger warnings, and it took me to Ana Huang's website where she has trigger warnings listed for all of her books.
That's great.
Which I was like, that's amazing.
Very good.
I'm sorry that I came for throats when I shouldn't have, and I just should have done my own research. So,
content notes that she has on her website is car accidents and injuries, chronic pain representation, and death of loved ones.
Yeah. So that's like a very short list compared to some of the other books that we've read of hers. But I read that and I was like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit safe. So I'm feeling excited to dive in without fear of what could be looming on the inside. Now, our two main characters, real quick, we're going to give our cast list because we love to cast our characters.
I love to think about men that I'm attracted to.
I love thinking about men that I'm attracted to.
Yeah.
And we also want to make it clear that we're, obviously these books have graphic sexual content. We are never picturing these people.
No.
100% I am self-inserting, and it's like a man with another face. Like
it suddenly turns into me and the guy that I want that doesn't like me back.
Exactly. So just to put that out there, make it very clear. But if I was gonna be a casting director, this is who I'd pick.
Right, and Netflix, hit my line.
Exactly, because I think actually we could do wonders.
Have you ever tried that? Have you ever tried hitting my line?
You ever tried calling Taylor up? So our main characters, we have Asher Donovan. He is a soccer star. Hottie soccer star. British. Boom. We have...
Boomski.
Yeah. We have Scarlett Dubois. We have Scarlett Dubois, and she is a ballerina. And she is Asher's nemesis. Where's that? Oh, okay. And then we have Scarlett Dubois.
Stanley, feel free to hit my line if you would like us to sponsor you guys. Other way around. If you would like to sponsor us. I know you guys are hurting for sales right now, and you need a celebrity endorsement.
Yeah.
So feel free.
If there's one thing about Jessica, she loves that Olivia Rodrigo Stanley Cup.
I paid $60 for it. I'm fucking using it.
It's really fucking cute, too.
And I use it every day. And I fill it up multiple times a day.
Okay.
Bitch, I'm thirsty.
Hydrated.
Anyway.
Thirsty.
Bitch, I'm thirsty.
Thirsty.
I'm at work, if I drink this whole water bottle right now, I can walk away from the front desk for 2 minutes to go fill it up. So, my coworkers look over, and I'm...
all day long, just for 1 minute of reprieve.
Okay. And then they're like, she's gone to the bathroom 52 times.
My coworkers think there's something wrong with me. For sure.
The way I'm sitting in there.
Yeah.
I'm like skin picking.
No, I'm really just calling my parents on the phone, like, hey, what are you guys up to?
Now, hey, what are you up to?
Literally. Okay. Anyway, so our picks for our characters. Who do you have for Asher Donovan?
You go first because I totally closed the tabs that I had open.
Okay. My picks for Asher, if any of my Love Island watchers out there know Tom from... He was on a different season, but then he was on All Stars that he won with Molly. He is so cute, and he is actually a footballer, and he just fit the part, like, and he's also British, so it was just like, it was a kismet. It was a beautiful storm.
Okay. I picked Josh Segarra. He was in the most recent season of Elementary. And he was also in Scream. He was the hot boyfriend in Scream in the most recent one.
I didn't see the most recent one, but I do really need to see that.
It's Jenna Ortega in New York City with not a leg.
I know, which is why I'm a little bit confused.
And also there's a hottie Magati, Josh Segarra. He's hot as fuck in that movie. He's literally in the movie. They're like, your hot neighbors outside. Go look. Not kidding.
And they're all like, yeah.
And I'm there too.
Where do you gotta move to find the hot neighbors like this?
I have hot neighbors. They just don't want to get with me. Fair enough. And then for Scarlett Dubois, I picked Mikey Madison, who was also not in the most recent Scream because she was dead.
The one before that.
Yeah.
That's
the
a good
killer
pick.
in the 2023 Scream.
Yeah.
2022, whatever.
Yeah.
Mikey Madison.
Yeah.
And I know they've got a little bit of an age gap, but just pretend they don't for the sake of the...
Yeah. Again, we're not actually picturing these, yeah.
I'm just having fun.
Yeah, like, you ever heard of having fun? I picked, I guess I would call her a momfluencer.
I hate that.
I hate that term so much, but...
I hate momfluencers in general. Stop filming your kids, weirdo.
Yeah, fair enough, but I do really like her.
What can I say?
I love her. Her name is Salome.
She charmed you.
She did charm me. Her name is Salome. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. I might be saying it wrong. But she fits the description. The only thing they really say about Scarlett is that she has like really long black hair. That she's like most likely white.
And like skinny.
Yeah, so
probably.
I was like...
She's a ballerina.
Yeah,
so.
it added up. But, she's like really cute and she's very like stylish. She's very
momfluency.
Elegant, but also like really cool. So, yeah, that's what I picked. And we're not gonna cast the other people because,
Frankly, one thing about her, she's gonna put 70 million characters in a book because so she can write a sequel. Girl, just write a standalone.
My God, I'm begging you. There are so many we gotta get a whiteboard in here and do like a Mike to Mike situation where we have like a whole...
Well, because apparently in all the... you've seen like the King of Wrath, King of Greed, they're separate from the Twisted series, but they're still written by her.
Yeah.
Alex comes into those as well.
So this is...
If I was reading another book and Alex came in, and I like Alex, I'm setting the book on fire.
No, the thing is...
I'm going to Barnes & Noble and I'm buying a bunch of copies and then I'm lighting them all on fire. She's still winning, but at least I'm getting my vengeance.
The thing is, like... She's building a cinematic universe where all these...
We just don't want to watch the movies.
Yeah. I'd actually like to erase Josh and Jules from my memory completely. But unfortunately, they do reappear. It's like a fucking...
Yeah, they are like roaches. They won't go away.
They won't go away. Anyway, let's get started.
I had roaches in my apartment in Florida. I just had to spray them. Everybody had roaches in their apartment. Like, everybody. Like, that whole apartment complex did.
That's gross.
Also lizards. I don't know
Lizards
what...
are kind of cute.
How do you get it out, though? Because you can't touch it. Oh, I can't touch it.
They go on their own.
But then it's just in your house.
They see themselves out.
But then it's just in your house. It's not leaving. Why would it leave? It's air conditioned. It's Florida.
It's a lizard. It doesn't need air conditioning.
If I'm a lizard...
If I'm a lizard...
Me when I'm Lizzo. And I'm dressed as a lizard for Halloween.
Right.
If I'm a lizard and I'm walking into air conditioning for the first time...
You're like, ooh.
Anyways.
That's just nice. Okay. So where our book opens up, this is, again, a dual perspective because, like, we can't seem to escape it anymore.
Romance novels, I feel like all of them nowadays are dual perspective. And let me just say, I promise I'm not going to keep interrupting, but... Not everything needs to be dual perspective. I can get down with maybe one sex scene from the men's perspective, but otherwise, frankly, I don't give a fuck what he has to say because he's probably going to say something stupid.
Yeah, and
He's probably gonna say, "Is it fucking pick on Ash today?"
Yeah.
In his internal monologue, and I'm gonna be like, "I would have done worse. I would have said something meaner."
Wait, did you read it, not listened?
I read it, yeah.
Yeah, I listened, and you said it exactly like the man did, who was doing his little...
fucking pick on Ash today.
Fucking pick on Ash today. Oh my god. Ew, you know, I just sounded like Hero Fiennes Tiffin.
Let's get started.
Yeah. So Asher, we start with his perspective, chapter 1, and we open with him on the field. He's in the middle of a game. He, he's a soccer star, like I said. He plays for the Premier League, which is like the big soccer tournament that happens every fall in the UK.
You've lost me already. I'll be so serious.
I personally like soccer. It's like the only sport that I enjoy. Well, except for the girly sports. But it's the only sport that like I actually enjoy watching. And so I was excited when I was like, oh, the main character is like a hottie soccer player. That's amazing. And I will say I did actually like him more than all the other male characters, for sure. But when we open up the book, we are on the field. We are mid-game, and the clock is ticking down. The game's about to end. They're down 1 point. They have to score. He's looking around, and his nemesis,
I think you can just say like his rival.
Thank you. Nemesis sounds so stupid. I literally
Nemesis makes it sound like he's Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was gonna say it sounds like Mary the Platypus and Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
It's funny.
Yeah, no.
It's kind of weird.
I know. Maybe we both go there. But his rival, Vincent, has the ball. He's supposed to kick it to him.
They're on the same team and they're somehow rivals still.
Yeah. He's supposed to kick the ball to him to get the goal. He hesitates. They lose the ball. They lose the game. It's upsetting for everybody. They get called into the coach's office.
And the fans in the stands are like, boo.
They're like, oh, I'm going to kill you after the game.
Oh my god, I can't imagine getting booed. Actually, I did get booed at my talent show when I was in 6th grade. I did get booed.
You're joking.
No, I'm not kidding.
Jessica!
Yeah, I mean, I can't sing. So, like, fair enough.
No! No, that's not fair enough!
No, it's true, I can't sing.
Kids are actually awful. Crazy. But they get called into the coach's office, and he's like, yeah, the thing is, you guys cannot keep doing this. Like, I paid a lot of money to have y'all on this team. Like, you need to work together or we're gonna keep fucking losing. Like, we just lost the fucking whole tournament because y'all can't work together. So what you're gonna do is, I'm putting y'all in a dance class because you're gonna do some cross-training over the summer. Bitch, it's the off season. How dare you tell me I'm gonna do cross-training ballet classes if I'm a soccer player?
We did have some intel from an inside source who did inform us that yes, this is something that does happen and it is called cross-training. You've really lost me now. What are you talking about? Why do I need to learn how to do a pirouette? I mean, I guess, like, he doesn't do a pirouette. They're probably just doing, like, stretches and stuff. Yeah. Realistically speaking. They're not, like, doing the nutcracker.
To be fair, how would we know? Because they don't even get into it at all.
That's true.
They just say, we have to practice, and then we came home.
Can you imagine if you had to play one of the mice? That was your cross-training. You had to play one of the mice in the nutcracker. You don't even get to be, like, the toy soldier.
No, like, you're the mouse, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is a thing that happens. I'm sure for all my Gleeks out there, you remember that episode where Kurt had to teach the entire football team how to do single ladies dance? Cross-training, like, it's in the scripture. So, you know, they're both like, I don't want to fucking do that. And he's like, you're gonna do it. And also, the person who's going to be teaching you guys ballet is Vincent's sister, Scarlett. And Asher's like, well, what the fuck? I don't want to hang out with this bitch and his bitch-ass sister. I don't want to. But the coach is like, well,
figure it out.
Yeah, like, I don't give a fuck. That night, he takes himself to the Angry Boar to let some steam off.
Now, the Angry Boar is going to become important. And the reason they're always at the Angry Boar is because they're so famous and hilarious, apparently.
Yeah.
That they can't go anywhere without being paparazzi'd. And in the Angry Boar, you're not allowed to brawl.
No
That's
brawling.
rule number 1.
No fucking brawling.
I'm not allowed to go there.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And number 2 is you can't take photos of people.
Yeah.
No photos, no videos. If you do, there's gonna be a brawl.
There's gonna be a brawl, and then you're gonna get thrown out on your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't wanna fucking break the rules there.
Every time I think of the word brawl, it makes me
Brawl.
laugh.
No, because why did they use that term of all terms to say they had a fight? They
Yeah.
brawl.
Brawling makes me think they're like doing somersaults.
Yeah. You know, in the cartoons. Where it's like all faded, but there's like little legs flying out.
Yeah, and meanwhile, like men don't actually, well, I mean, I guess they kind of do, but like, I feel like every time I see men fight, it's like they both get one good punch in and then they're both like, oh! That's how men groan.
Let's call it fair and square. I'm tapping out.
Fair and square! Anyways.
But at the Angry Board that night, he
square, sorry, I spit everywhere.
He runs into, like, he bumps into a girl, and he, like, immediately is like, oh my god, I need her bad.
I've always wanted this to happen to me.
Me too. It's never happened to me.
No.
But
maybe this weekend. Maybe this will be the weekend.
Yeah, for sure. But the girl is, like, very unimpressed with him, and he's like, she's not like other girls. Like, what the fuck? What's your name?
Shut the fuck up.
And she's like, you don't get to know my name or
Aren't
my
we
number.
past this? Aren't we past the not like other girls thing?
No, it's never gonna go away. That's the thing. That's so annoying.
I actually
it's
think,
never gonna go away.
I think that's something that's really unique about me is that I am just like every other girl. Like, I think
it's what makes me special.
No. Like, yes, Sabrina Carpenter was my top artist this year, and yes, Taylor Swift was number second. Number two.
Yeah.
Grow up.
Yeah.
Get over it. Stop complaining.
Yeah. I mean, what the hell? So they part their ways, and, you know, he just is, like, egregiously down bad for whatever reason. He literally, like, they talk so for 4 seconds.
Stupid.
It feels dramatic from rip. Like, literally immediately he's like, oh my god, I can't stop thinking about, like...
Well, and she mentally is like, oh.
Yeah.
Ew, I don't know why she sounded like an ape. But she in her mind's eye, it's like, oh, I need him bad.
Yeah. And she's, like, trying to act like she doesn't need him bad.
No, like, I don't know how anybody acts like they don't need him bad. Whenever I need someone bad, I'm literally texting them just saying, I need you bad. And then I go over to their apartment and I say, I need you bad. And they say, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm just like everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
But the next day they get to their first day of training, and he walks in and he's like, oh, that girl. Wait, why is the girl my teacher?
That is so shocking. I was so shocked.
Dude, the way my jaw unhinged, the way I was so shocked. And she's like, yeah, like, isn't it crazy how I played a practical joke on you? Like, it wasn't giving anything, girl. I don't know why you thought that was going to be, like, a crazy surprise.
Okay, Sal.
Right. And Vincent shows up. They have their class. Whatever. Again, the whole time, Asher's, like, looking at her like, I really want to, like, eat her with a spoon. But he's like, let me not, because, you know...
Because that's his sister.
It makes it complicated.
Must be gross.
Yeah, exactly. It's complicated. This is my enemy. Like, you know...
this is my nemesis.
Yeah, exactly.
My Perry the Platypus nemesis.
My nemesis. Okay, the next chapter, or like a chapter or two after that, there's some like filler shit happening in here, whatever. We get to the next practice, literally the second day of their cross training. In the middle of practice, Vincent gets a call that's like, oh, I have to go to France for the rest of the summer.
Anna said, you served your purpose, now get out.
She says, I need a reason for them to have to be in forced proximity.
Also,
but
this is hospitalization number 1.
Right.
Many.
Like of several, like 4, literally. So, yeah, she said, I need someone to put you guys in the same room and make you guys hang out, but then I need them to go somewhere else so they can get to fucking. Boom. He's gone. But on the way out, Vincent's like, don't you fucking try and fuck my sister. And he's like,
Asher's like, shut up. Dude. Vincent was mad annoying.
Vincent was so fucking annoying. Like, literally.
Like, the fact that he's gonna be the next man.
I know.
And we're gonna have to listen to him be possessive about his stupid girlfriend.
I don't find that cute at all.
Oh, I do. I just didn't like Vincent.
I understand.
It was weird. It was weird about the sister. I feel like if I'm reading a romance novel and he's being possessive, it's like, okay, like clearly I'm into that, but I don't want to read about him, you know, like if I'm picking up a book that implies that the man is possessive, then it's like, oh, well.
I get it on like a certain level, but like the way he was being possessive about his sister was just like, do you want to fuck her? I don't get it. It's weird. Yeah. Stop. So that same day or another day, they're at the studio and Asher's gets there, and you know he's a celebrity. Apparently, we got some more intel that if you're like a really, really famous soccer player or like athlete, there's reason to believe that you would get followed by paparazzi like this. We wouldn't know, okay? We had to get an outside source to tell us because we were like, why the fuck are there paparazzi following him like this?
The outside source believes that this is not true. So let us know in the comments below what you guys think.
Yeah.
And also comment in a separate comment what color Stanley Cup you're going to get with our coupon code once we have one.
Yeah. And while they're having a conversation, they see someone in the hallway, and it's a paparazzi. Now, Scarlett has this crazy aversion to paparazzi. She hates the paps. And she takes it upon herself to chase this man down the hallway, and she collapses in the middle of running after him. She wakes up in the infirmary, and she's like, what happened? And Asher's like, you fucking fell to your knees, so I carried you up 4 flights of stairs to the infirmary. Of course, she's like, you carried me?
Oh, no, of course. If I found out a man carried me, I would be so shocked.
I know. She's, like, unconcerned about the fact that she's in the infirmary.
I literally have not stopped thinking about the last guy I was seeing. Mm-hmm. He grabbed one of my legs and yanked me, and it was startling how easy it was for him to yank me. And I was like, I literally, I had to stop for a second and be like, whoa.
Oh my god, I'm an ant.
I've never experienced that because I've only dated skinny nests. Never mind.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But all I can say is I really needed that in that moment.
Yeah.
I felt a lot better about myself.
Yeah. I can completely understand why. Completely. So yeah, if I've heard that he carried me up 4 flights of stairs, I would have been like, oh my god, that's fucking hot. But in this moment, she's kind of explains to him that the reason why she passed out is because she deals with a lot of chronic pain as the result of a car accident she was in years ago, like 5 years ago. And this car accident effectively stopped the trajectory of her ballet career, which is why she now just teaches and doesn't really perform. And sometimes her pain will
comes in waves.
It comes in waves, and it can be in a dull
intermittent.
Yeah, it'll be in a okay, big word.
I use that word a lot at work.
Period. Yeah. And so she just got a really big attack in that moment, and just that's why she passed out.
I love the word intermittent because you don't have to elaborate. That's why I use that word so much. How long has it been going on for? It's been intermittent.
Don't have to elaborate. It's just take your gander. I don't know. You'll figure it out. Period. Now we get some more backstory about Asher's dad, which is very inconsequential.
Who gaff?
Literally who gaff?
Nobody gaff.
All you need to know is that Asher's dad sucks. He's an ass.
Sucks, and he hates his son.
Yeah.
Because he plays for the wrong football team. And no matter what he does, even when he's on the right football team, he still sucks. Yeah. And I can't believe I just called it football.
Well, you have to. We're talking about UK.
It is technically football.
Yes, football. That was crazy.
I shocked myself.
Yeah, I could see on your face. You were so shocked. Now, a couple of days later, he's him and Scarlett are having a conversation, and she's like,
There's so many deep chats in this book. It's
I know.
You don't need that many. Or
oh my god.
But also, one scene. Well, also, it's they have deep chats about so many things because there's just so many random plot points.
There is so much going on in this book. So much going. There's 10 subplots. But they're talking, and she's like, I really can't with the paps. I can't with the
paps, dude.
I'm telling you, this girl, she cannot stand the paps, even though at what point in her life has she ever come across one before?
Well, apparently because she's a footballer's sister, the paparazzi must be following her everywhere. Name me one footballer's sister. Name me one. I can give you girlfriend, but sister.
There's a man in the comments who's like,
good, thank you for commenting.
Thank you for the engagement. Yeah, no, what the hell?
You know what that just reminded me of?
What?
Boost's post with the fist.
It's unfortunate, but for those fists in the comments. Basically, he's like, you know what? I don't want us to have to deal with the situation anymore. Tell me everything that you would need in a dance studio. Send me a list, and I'll be back in a couple days. In a couple days' time, he comes back, and he's like, get in the car. And she's like, we're supposed to practice. He's like, we are practicing. Get in the car. And then they drive all the way to his fucking giganormous mansion.
And going back to the earlier when we were talking about we never get to see them do anything, what do they do there? They go to his house and then they play soccer. It's not what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, no. But when they get there first, they're like, he takes her into the studio, and she's like, oh my god, you built this dance studio here just so that I wouldn't be harassed by the paparazzi?
Very quick to build that.
Right. First of all, what kind of fast acting construction team? I've never seen something get done that quick.
Can you imagine you're on the construction team, you're on your jackhammer, you're like ah! It's 4 o'clock in the morning, you've been working for 17 hours. You're on your jackhammer. Over some girl and some soccer player.
The thing is, I'm imagining you in like a pink hard hat, ponytail braids, and you're like fully crying. When they start doing their training there, and he gets her like her own chauffeur to bring her to his house every time they're supposed to have practice, because she's afraid of, she doesn't like to drive herself because she has trauma. And yeah, he makes everything obscenely convenient and nice for her. And she's like, ugh.
The way I'd be purring like a cat.
I know. But she's like, I'm a professional though, so I'm not doing that.
But she's not.
No, but
like,
she's not.
That's what I don't understand about it, is like she'll like lick him on the face and then be like, we can't go any further than this.
Yeah. Professionalism takes precedent.
I don't know, I feel like we went pretty far just now.
Yeah. Yeah. Licking my face is kind of crazy. Now, one of the times that they go to do practice at his house, they get there and she's like, not you have a whole fucking soccer pitch in your backyard. Like, the way they described this home, it was giving like it was like the White House times 10.
Well, I guess like, I don't know, like, I guess like Travis Kelce probably does have like the White House.
But it's like, as a single, like as a bachelor, it's like 30. Why do you need a house this big?
Well, I think that's kind of the point, is that he's like rich as fuck. He can do whatever he wants, but he's also like irresponsible with his money, so he's buying like her a dance studio. And
they're like, you know, chasing each other around and playing soccer and like having like a cute flirtatious moment, whatever. Somehow, some way they end up falling into each other's lap, you know, when like they fall and they're like breathing into each other's mouths.
Ugh, stop saying that.
Well, that's what they were doing. And then they hear a click, and lo and behold, it's the Paps.
But what is just so ridiculous about this to me is that if you can hear the sound of the shutter clicking, that person is on the fucking field. Like, yeah. I could almost buy the next day, there's a photo of them on Twitter with like clearly like one of those like massive lenses that like you can zoom in really tight on.
Yeah.
But like, he was like, all right.
Yeah.
Crouching down on the soccer pitch in someone else's home.
He's in the goalpost.
No, like, he's like, oh, actually, he's like, move a little bit.
Can you guys pivot?
Way.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you guys move a little bit to the left? Well, Asher to make a long fucking story short, Asher chases him down and he breaks his camera. And we were talking about this the other day, and he was like, it's actually really like kind of sexy and hot that he broke that camera, because those cameras are big. Because those cameras are big. Those cameras are really hard to break.
And I was like, oh, I mean, I guess like you can't throw it on the ground and break it, because Annie has a degree in photography.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that's actually what it's called.
called.
And he has a degree in photography, so I was like, oh, damn, I didn't realize they were durable. And then you were like, I thought he just took it and broke it in half.
I literally imagine him holding, like, the lens and the body and going...
I'm imagining him, like, kind of, like, sizing it up at first, and then...
He's like, I can do it.
Yeah, like, just with his bare hands.
I don't know, but you said just throw it on the ground. I was like, oh, yeah, you can assuredly break a camera that way.
Yeah, the way I believed you, the way I, like, totally trusted you, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize they were so durable.
You shook my religion just then, clearly. I imagined him just doing this, and I was like, oh, yeah, that would break it. That would definitely break it.
Yeah. That's what I thought. But the way I totally believed you, I was like, oh, I guess it would bounce. I don't know.
I guess I just love the drama of it all. I was like, I want him to do the most obscene thing possible. But
picturing you read that alone in your home, like just to yourself, yeah.
I was like,
it's what makes it funny.
Strong man. But after he does that,
so funny.
I know. After he does that, he's like, you know what? Stay, take a bath. You know, like she's like, I'm a little bit like in pain. We just did all that exercise, and like I don't know if I can.
I'm shaken up.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do the ballet. Right? The Pap scared me. So
she's so mean. I need it. This calls for a glass of wine.
I know. And so he's like, yeah, just go inside, take a bath, whatever. She goes in, she, you know, takes a bath in his luxurious bathtub. She walks around his house. They start having another deep chat. And then they get this, like, news alert that there's a flash flood. And they're both like, oh my God.
I'm picturing them both being like...
Yeah. They look down and they're like... And And he's like, I guess you can spend the night. I don't know. And she's like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah, no, the way I'm so happy to get to, like, staying in somebody else's home is so nice. I love staying in somebody else's home. Not for an extended period of time. Not for more than one night. But whenever I go over to your apartment and I just get to leave my glass of wine wherever I want to, and then I go to put it away in the morning and it's already been put away. I'm like, wow, they have fairies at this house.
No, but something about staying at someone's house is just like...
It's luxurious for some reason.
I know, and I can't even imagine what kind of luxury he was packing in that home.
Yeah.
So... I would also be like, ugh, if you insist, I'll stay.
Right.
So they decide to watch movies. They watch something scary, and she's like literally like sitting inside of his body because she's so afraid. And then again, wants to be like, but we're professional. Like, we're not. It's not like that.
Yeah, like, girl, if you know you're scared of scary movies, then watch Spirit the Horse.
Like, seriously.
Or something. But then I guess she might get horny because Spirit the Horse is hot.
Right. I wouldn't recommend Zootopia for her.
Or for you either, based on that face.
Just saying. But yeah, they have their like 15th deep talk of the day, and then they go off to bed. In the middle of the night, she wakes up. She's like, I need me a glass of water.
She's like me. She drinks her entire Stanley cup of water. She needs another one.
Yeah, exactly. So she's like, let me head down to the kitchen. Gets down there, and then like almost breaks a pan over Asher's head, because
in his own home. Because
she's so shocked to see him there. I mean, girl.
And he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I thought you were an intruder. And he was like,
I live here. I live here.
Like, what are you talking about? Well, because it was just a way to force some connection.
Yeah.
Because, once again, somehow they end up in each other's laps and breathing in each other's mouths.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how they got there, because frankly, I don't
To be honest, it was a blur for me.
The second I heard, like, the frying pan come out, my brain kind of went zzz.
Yeah,
and not in like a sexy way. It just kind of was like, oh, I can't hear anything anymore.
Yeah. I've left this plane. Like, I'm somewhere else. Yeah, no. This moment gets her so fucking horny.
I don't know. There was a lot of tension. I was feeling the vibes.
I mean, I understood it for sure, but then she immediately gets up
ridiculous.
and goes up to her room and like gets out her analog rose toy, and
AKA acoustic.
Yeah. She just it had to happen right then and there. And it was a whole thing. Granted, when we moved to Asher's chapter, he's like, yeah, I was doing the same thing. So they clearly both just separated.
If it wasn't clear by what was just said, she masturbates in his home in his
bed.
Yeah. Well, in his guest bed.
In his guest bed, yeah.
I feel so bad for the people that had to change the sheets in the morning, because he's not changing his own sheets.
No, he's not. He's definitely not. But she is so alarmed by her behavior that she gets up and leaves his home like at the crack of dawn before he even wakes up.
Girl, now it's obvious what you did.
Yeah.
If you just got up and were normal, he'd be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
She wasn't feeling the vibe.
Now, a few days later, they're having class. Before her class, slightly important, but also really not important, she gets put to be like the understudy in the faculty dance performance. This is important,
guys,
like very minimally, but also like not at all.
Guys, I hate to say it, but idgaff.
Yeah, like this is one of the many subplots that
it
are like...
It was just, too much going on.
Yeah.
I think she could have been like, she could have had a normal job. She didn't have to be a ballerina.
Yeah. She could have totally just been like a normal teacher. But instead, she had to be a ballerina with a traumatic backstory. And
like,
the thing is,
girl, what?
She can totally be a ballerina, but then like I don't need the 15 subplots about the ballerina.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
there's just like
there's
just so much that comes on.
Yeah.
Like there's so many questions that need to be answered.
Yeah. So after she gets put into the show, she's excited to tell Asher, because one of the things they had talked about was him being like, you should challenge yourself to like try dancing a little bit more, if you love it, if you want to like just see how it goes. And so she goes to his house ready to do practice and so excited to tell him that she's going to be like an understudy for the show. She gets there and he's kissing some blonde girl and she's like, now we then immediately move to Asher's POV, in which he's like pushing the girl off and being like, ew, disgusting.
And the reason she's there is because, sorry, but
I
feel strongly about this.
I was gonna say, you go.
She is there because she is trying to convince Asher to go on a date with her, which he literally ends up doing later.
Yeah.
He's trying to convince her or she's trying to convince him to go on a date with her to make her ex-boyfriend jealous. And he basically kind of like calls her a slut and a whore.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we're fucking, but I decided I kicked her to the curb.
Yeah.
Why are you talking about women this way?
Yeah.
I feel like it's really difficult for authors to write a character that's like supposed to cause some conflict when it's a woman.
Yeah.
Without being misogynistic in some way. Like
100%.
Because I feel like Ana Huang, there's no way she can hate women. I mean, that's her entire clientele.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know. It's
just like most of her main characters are like strong, professional, independent women.
Yeah. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's also just like, I think also in this instance, it's like because it was coming from his POV, it was like making it worse too, the way he was talking about her.
Yeah.
But it was like, don't only be like a stand-up gentleman when you're like around the girl
when you want to fuck.
Because like now it's like
now
okay.
you double don't respect women.
Yeah.
Because you know what, if you don't respect women and you're honest about it, it's like, well, you know, at least I know to avoid you.
Yeah.
But when you do hate women
it's
and
so much,
aren't vocal about it, it's like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm scared.
It's so much worse when like you meet someone and like you like start to trust them and you're like, oh my god, he's such a nice person, and then they lead you on, and then suddenly you're like, oh,
you hate
women, and I'm only now realizing it.
Yeah. It was just odd. It was very slut shamey and like kind of calling her stupid and like
and daft and like kind of like I don't know, just not great things to be referencing about her. He's comparing her to Scarlett in his mind for sure about how Scarlett is not like other girls. Yeah. I hate to break to you, there's nothing wrong with being just like every other girl. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with liking things that are popular.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make a man jealous of another man, especially because he goes on to do it later in the story anyway.
Yeah. So
who cares?
He kicks her out. He goes down to the studio and Scarlett's giving him the cold shoulder a little bit. I don't know. This whole thing, it was like, why even forced conflict? Why even bring this girl in just to like drag her through the mud when they literally resolve it within the next like several paragraphs? Like not even chapters, paragraphs. Like immediately resolve it.
That was good water.
Nice and crisp.
Yeah, we got a new water cooler at work because ours broke for several days and we ran out of like plastic water bottles, so they had to buy us a new one.
Period.
And it was high tech. You can have 2 options for your water. Cool and cold.
What the hell?
And it's true. I was like, delicious.
There's a difference.
I guess so.
Period.
And hot water for your tea.
Yeah.
I did not. Okay, I guess water coolers have been around since like probably at least the 90s, probably more. Don't. But I did not realize until really recently that you can make tea with a water cooler. Did you know that? I had no idea. I thought the hot button on water coolers was like just for like do you want blue water
or red water? And every time I say like, I want blue water.
Yeah.
So the next day or whatever, Scarlett,
they make up very quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know if we said that.
Yeah, within paragraphs. She goes to the Angry Boar. Again, the only bar in London, clearly.
No, we've been over this. That is the only place they can go without the Paps. Also.
What does she have to do there, though? She's not famous.
She knows there's going to be famous men there. Duh.
You got me.
We would be there. If there was a DC bar that did that, we would be there.
You clocked my
there's
tea.
Not. It's just a bunch of politicians that would call me stupid.
You clocked my tea for sure.
Oh my god, when that girl at the bar was saying that she was a successful whatever she was, and then showed us her ring and then pointed to her law student boyfriend, I was like, I can't be here anymore. I need to leave. I was
like, I could see it on your face. I was like, yeah, it's not good for anyone right now. It's not good for anyone right now.
She was really nice, but I was like,
she was. Yeah. No,
we're not in the right bar.
Yeah, no,
we were not in the right bar.
We were not in the right bar at all. We were not supposed to be there.
No, but going back to something, I want to say, I think we need to initiate a new rule into literature, because that's what this is, literature. The Striker is literature.
Right.
If it has been written in a One Direction fanfic, you should not be putting it into your books in the year 2024.
And beyond.
There's so much more you can write about besides that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's actually crazy that you can write about so many more things.
Yeah.
And
we don't have to do this.
No, you don't. And it's like, at the end of the day, Imaginator 1D has already done it.
Yeah.
I don't want to read it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's how I felt when I was reading this. because they both refer to them as the Paps. I feel like if they said reporters, paparazzi,
media,
or like kind of switch those terms around so it didn't
Yeah.
feel like I was reading the same word over and over and over again. But they say the Paps like 7 times
So much.
on a page.
Yeah.
Like actually like was
Insufferable.
yeah, it was bad.
It was a lot. Like again, thesaurus.com is a resource that is free. Use it. Like why? But
she was feeling that word.
yeah, she said this is really
Paps.
good. She said I did my research on British people.
No, not only was it on British people, also celebrities. She was like, this is how celebrities talk.
Yeah, exactly. She goes to the Angry Boar with her friend Karina, and while she's there, she's just kind of updating her about what's been going on with Asher. And while they're talking, Asher walks into the bar.
Her assistant.
It's her assistant and also her best friend, like both. But Asher walks into the bar, shocker, and Karina's like, "Bring that ass, come sit with us."
Oh my god! If I'm the assistant, I'm hitting on Asher
Badly.
I'm gonna be like, if you're not gonna fuck him, then fine.
You know, like
someone has to step up.
Yeah, you've been in my face talking about I don't like him, I don't like him, I don't like him. Okay, fine, I like him.
Yeah. What now?
What now? But she calls him over and he sits and they chat, and then he invites them to come to like basically a celebrity party at this club tonight. Karina's like, I can't fucking go, but you have fun.
Why can't Karina go? Oh my god! The second I get invited
Something.
to any celebrity thing, I'm
canceling my plans. I'm canceling my plans.
Yeah, frankly, I don't care if I have to work. I don't care if my dad's in the hospital.
Quitting my job.
I don't care if my dad's in the hospital. Somebody else will. I'll be there in the morning. All right. I'm going to this party.
I mean,
I'm going to this party. Hailey Bieber might be there, and I need to get on the PR list. So
you're done. Yeah. So that whole evening, Scarlett is like sitting in her apartment trying to be like, I'm not going. Like, I'm not going. I'm not going.
No, like he's a man. Like I'm not doing that.
I'm not at his beck and call. However, I just called an Uber and I'm gonna be there in 10 minutes.
I'm suddenly at his beck and call.
Yeah. So she like gets ready and like goes literally within like 15 seconds.
My hair looks so good. Oh my god, I look like I sell granola at the farmer's market.
So she gets to the bar and she's standing outside trying to figure out how to get in. Long story short, she meets a girl on the sidewalk that becomes one of her besties. Again, a character that we just did not need.
So stupid!
Yeah.
And she's like beating the shit out of some random man, which of course I enjoyed, of course. But I remember reading it and being like, this is so irrelevant and stupid. This is how she meets Brooklyn. Why couldn't she have just been friends with Brooklyn from the start?
Yeah.
Instead, they have to box someone on the street before she goes into the club.
Yeah. They don't even hang out in the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
They part ways. She tries to go into the party and the bouncer is like
also a woman.
It's also
again,
a woman.
It's giving you hate women.
Yeah, because the woman is very, very rude. And then Asher shows up and brings her by, and he's like, and the bouncer's like, oh my god, Asher, like, hey, like, come on in. And he's like, you're gonna let in my girlfriend too, right? Or he calls her his girlfriend or his best friend or something, like saying like she's with me. And you know, then it leaves the bouncer gooped and gagged. But it was like a humiliation, you know, which is like, to be fair, if I'm Scarlett, I'm like.
Frankly, it doesn't. Oh yeah, of course. And I guess that's perhaps why it's in the book.
Yeah.
But because like, who doesn't want to feel like that? But again, it's kind of giving Harry Styles fanfic.
Yeah.
It's kind of giving Imaginator 1D.
Yeah.
And also, I think you need to be careful when you have such a large platform, the way that this author does, like, to promote good relationships and bonds within women.
Yeah.
Between women and. Instead, you're like just making two women box a man outside of a club.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's a good relationship between women. More so, like, why can't we just be kind?
Why can't we just all be friends?
She could have been like, I can't find your name on the list. I'm sorry. You know what? Go in. And I'm going to look away. You walk in. That would have been it.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess to be fair, we did talk about this last time.
We did.
You were like, yeah, there's probably so many girls trying to get in there. And she's probably just like, by the 13th time, she's like, no.
Because, like, you're not on the list. I know you're not a celebrity. Fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's kind of like when something like goes wrong at your job
Yeah.
and like 30 people come up to tell you, and it's like the 30th person just gets a yes, I know.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
I get it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
to be
still.
fair. Yeah. To be fair, this but still, this is fiction. So like, you could have just made them interact nicely. I don't know.
That's true.
Regardless, they
And
get
at least
into
she's
the
not a
party.
receptionist, frankly,
On
like
God.
I am.
Like I am too. So they get into the party, and immediately Asher like walks away to talk to someone.
That would make me kill myself.
Seriously, I boxed a man on the street. I spent
to get in here.
I was fucking bitched at by the bouncer. I spent like $1 million on an Uber to get here because it's the middle of the night at peak season in London. I'm out of money. Like, I'm wearing a little dress and it's riding up. My feet are hurting.
I already have 2 different blisters on my feet already.
No, like, I'm gonna freak out.
And you have to go talk to this girl right now.
I'm gonna crash out. And it's a girl, too. It's like, It's not even like you're going to talk to like a buddy. Like, you're going to talk to a woman.
Honestly, I'm more okay with it when they go talk to a girl. There's something about men and their friends, and they're always having to choose their stupid friends. Even though, to be fair, I always choose my friends over. But it's different. I'm a girl.
Yeah, no, I get
but
that.
But men choosing their friends makes me crash out so bad.
Yeah, actually.
I can't
it's like,
do it anymore.
She gets in there and he's like, sorry, the boys are calling. And she's like...
in gaff about the boys.
Yeah.
Are they going down on you? Are they gonna cup your balls?
Clearly. That's what it's giving.
No, he wishes.
He wishes so bad.
Mm-hmm. But they hate him.
Yeah.
They're cupping each other's balls, just not his.
Yeah. While she's staying there alone, very cute man comes up and starts talking to her. Turns out... Clive. Turns out he's like a famous rugby player or something. I don't remember what
And his name is Clive.
And he's talking and they're chatting and then I don't know where Asher pulls up and he's like, scram. And
Clive is like, no. And he gives what's her face
his number. And Asher's like a little kind of crashing out.
I like the name Clive. I think you have to say it like that.
You have to say it like Clive. Yeah. Because if you say like Clive, it's like
kind of giving clear.
Yeah. Asher's just like crashing out a little bit, and she's like, "Can you?
Why are you crashing out? You literally just
left me here.
Let's go over this again. The Uber, the boxing of the man, the dress, the shoes. Like, and the second I walk in here, you go talk to a girl, and then when a guy comes up to me,
they're like having this discussion at the bar, and then he pulls her away into a corner. And they start like having a heated discussion about this, and then...
I'd be horny. There would be liquid dripping down my legs. The dress would rip itself open. It would have a mind of its own. Because
the dress became sentient.
He's basically just talking to her and being like, no, he's a fuckboy, whatever. I don't give a fuck what he said, frankly. He was being possessive, and as we discussed, it's hot when a guy does it for like you.
Yeah, but like on a low key level, not on like a crazy level.
Yeah.
Because
you know what, I've never had a man be possessive over me because I've never had a man like me that much.
Me neither. Mm-hmm. Not to worry, me neither. But
never you mind.
But yeah, they kiss and they have like a not like a makeout, but like a steamy kiss.
I'd be so horny.
Yeah, and then she's so horny that she bolts out of the bar because she's like, oh my god, and she runs.
And I'm gonna skip ahead.
Yeah.
And then Clive. Mm-hmm. Oh wait. And then Vincent and her go to the movies because they're siblings, and I guess maybe just to remind us that
he's around. I don't know.
Yeah. And then Clive shows up yet again. Oh, and I think this is the time where he gives...
No, he gave her his number at the bar, but he at this movie theater, he's like, oh, like, how are you? It was so nice to see you the other night with Asher. And she starts freaking out because she's like, oh my god, Vincent's gonna put 2 and 2 together and he's gonna know we kissed.
It's crazy how little I remember about this book. Because that movie theater scene was stupid. Why have it? Like, why not just have her text him?
Yeah, literally. Because then she's like, in what world would just y'all being at the same place mean that y'all kissed? But she somehow convinces herself that now Vincent knows everything.
Well, because Vincent's weird.
True. So she basically tells him, like, oh, like, I was on a date with Clive. That's why I was at the bar.
Like, how's that better?
No,
you know your brother's weird.
Yeah, and Vincent goes, that's not better. He's a fuckboy. She's like, oh, fuck. And then, fast forwarding a little bit, she tells Asher about this, and he's like, wait. Girl, no. What did I tell you? He's a fuckboy. And she's like, well, I'm not gonna go out with you, obviously.
And you know what's crazy is that all 3 of y'all say that about each other. So something's you gotta figure it out.
Yeah. Like, y'all triplets. I don't understand. Like, what the fuck? And so she's like, yeah, I'm gonna go out with him because I'm not gonna go out with you, assuredly. And he's like, what the fuck? And she's like, because I'm a professional, remember? And so he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go on a date too. And then she's like, well, why don't we go on a double date? And he's like, okay. What? What? So they go on a double date in a couple days on this.
If only I could get two men to want to go on a date with me. If only.
God has his favorites. I don't know.
God has his favorites, and I guess it's Hailey Bieber and Scarlett Dubois.
Because they exist in the same universe.
Yeah, Scarlett Dubois is definitely friends with Hailey Bieber.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. She's on the Road Beauty PR list.
Yeah.
And we're next.
And so they have their date. They get to the date, and lo and behold, the girl that Asher brings on as his date is Clive's ex-girlfriend. Like, of course she is.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. And in the middle of the date, at one point...
it just kind of ruins the vibe.
Yeah.
At that point, it's like, oh, we're all here to make each other jealous.
At one point, the girl gets up and goes to the bathroom, and Clive gets up right after.
Oh, but we're missing an important detail. For some reason, they bet on who's going to get a second date. I don't know what the stakes are, but this is why they can't call off the date. Is because they're betting something.
Right, and again, this, I want to also mention, it never comes up again after the initial talk.
Yeah, they were like, well, I guess the date didn't go well for either of us. Guess.
Why are we... Forced conflict.
Yeah.
Like, forcing tension. I don't know. That one felt very contrived, for sure.
Just so much happening. The whole date felt like it was too much.
Yeah, it went on for so long, too, just for it to end. Because when they get back from the bathroom, Miss Girl is like, I have a tummy ache. I'm gonna go home.
Miss Girl's the Asher's date.
Yeah, and not Vincent.
Clive
is like, I'm gonna drive her home.
Can you imagine you're on a date and he drives his ex-girlfriend?
That would happen to me. I would be so excited. I can't imagine.
If it was gonna happen to anyone, it would happen to us. Like,
can you imagine? Actually, I can't imagine me being so excited to go on a double date, and then I get there and I'm like, yeah, perfect, awesome. So
that's just what I wanted.
This is exactly what I dreamed of. Fantastic.
Yeah, it is funny because that would happen to us.
Yeah, I know. And so Asher's like, don't worry, I'll take her home. And they get in the car and they're driving, talking, and also mentioned that like whenever he's in the car with Scarlett or like driving her anywhere, he's driving very, very carefully and very like, he's very aware of like how he's driving in order to make her comfortable. I feel like we probably skipped it at some point, but they mentioned it before earlier in the book that like he's an avid like street racer. He drives recklessly and he likes to street race. He has 1 million Bugattis.
Hold on. I actually would like to pause. Is street racing actually popular in the UK? It says it's considered to be a problem.
Dang.
As of February 2024.
Dang.
I guess Asher started a trend.
Yeah. Asher's doing it, so.
Like, I've never seen anyone street race.
In all my life, I've never seen people street race, but I guess I'm not in
We're also not getting challenged to the street races because I drive a Mini Cooper.
Yeah, we're not getting invited, so I guess that's also
me trying to win a race against a Lamborghini in my 2014 Mini Cooper that needs oil every 5 seconds.
And Peach is in the side seat with the glasses on. She's sitting there looking, her little ears are flapping. Oh my god, okay.
She would love that.
Yeah, I would. So he drops her off at her house, and he like literally drives like 13 seconds down the road, and then immediately turns his Bugatti around.
Yeah.
Pulls back up in front of her house.
Well, yes.
Runs up her like to her apartment, and he's like banging on the door. She opens the door. She's like, "What?" And he grabs her.
Yeah, sexy.
They start.
It was the act of turning around from being on the street to coming and being like, no.
Yeah, arguably for me, just the idea of him driving slightly away, turning around, and coming back to her door and like grabbing her in a kiss was even better than the sex scene itself. The sex scene was good.
It was just okay.
It was good, but I was like, I will say though, please for the love of God, if one man can spread the word to the rest, put the pillow under the back.
Yeah, I don't know why Like, I don't know where, like, because this gospel is clearly reaching women's weird ears everywhere, whether they've tried it or not.
Yeah.
Why is it not reaching men? Guys, I don't fake orgasms because I think men should know that they can't do anything ever in their entire lives. So I think it's stop faking orgasms, and frankly, if you're dating a guy for more than a year and he doesn't make you come, that man doesn't love you. Break up with him.
Yeah, I mean, why can't he? And the thing is, like, we will tell them.
It's literally, that's what gets me so,
I'll tell you explicitly.
and you just don't do it. Why? Why do you think you know better than me?
Like, the fact that I was reading this.
It's mine.
Yeah, literally.
It's my button.
I know it better than you do. And the thing is, the fact that I was reading this, and he put the pillow under her pelvis, and I was like, yes, pillow. And then I was like, the bare minimum.
No, then you get mad.
And I was like, ugh.
No, because
the bare minimum.
I don't know if I've ever told this story on the podcast, and I don't know that I should, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. My ex-boyfriend used to literally cry when he couldn't make me orgasm because he couldn't. And then I suggested, or even maybe he suggested, but vibrators were suggested. And one day I got out my rabbit from Adam and Eve, and I got it, and I just kind of like set it on like my dresser next to my bed because like I don't want to be the one to reach for it.
Yeah.
The least you can
Take
do is
initiative.
hold it in place.
Yeah.
That is the least you can do.
Yeah.
And he did it. Men are so worthless. And then he would always he would always complain to me that he was getting so many. I think he wanted to believe our sex life was more active than it actually was. Because he would get like, I don't have push notifications turned on for anything, but he would get like text messages from Adam and Eve. And, and he would be like, there's 75% off sex toys. And I'm like, you don't even use the one that I
have already. Who are you trying to prove this to?
I don't, me, maybe. He was trying to prove to himself that I wanted to have sex with him when he knew that I didn't, probably.
Ew, I don't like that. It's like, don't sit here and try to act like you're all kumbaya about it and that like you're so, like, you know.
You're so suave in the bedroom.
Yeah, and that like, you know, you're in tune with like what women want when you're really not. And you actually are so afraid of even trying it. Because you're afraid of being in competition with a toy, which is like, first of all, the fact that you think of it as competition is
if you're
showing
not,
of your age.
If you're not even going to try to press the button, then just let the vibrator do it.
The vibrator's not your competition.
I don't even think he thought of it.
It's your ally.
I don't even think he thought of it like that. I think he just like didn't care. Like, I will be honest, like I just don't think he cared. Because like I don't see any other explanation. I don't see any other explanation. You're not, because he wasn't even trying to find the button. It was like he didn't know the button was there. But if you don't know the button is there, did you not go to health class, and B, have you really not had sex with anybody? And I know you have. I guess if you were a virgin, I'd be like, well, there's this thing called a button.
Yeah, but he was...
It infuriates me.
Yeah, it infuriates me as well. But they wake up the next morning and they're having their, you know, meet cute moment in their morning after.
They're in the bathtub.
No, they're not.
Oh.
This is when we go to hospital scene number 2.
Oh.
Because while they're having breakfast, they find out Asher's dad has been hospitalized. So for whatever reason, she goes with him to the town outside of London where his parents live.
Hospitalization number 2.
Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of, the dad's still being a dick even though he's in the hospital bed.
Yeah.
They spend the whole weekend there and then they come back on Monday. I don't know why she had to go with. I don't know why we had to have the whole thing at all, to be quite fair. But regardless, they come back.
I was an hour and a half late to work today because I was shitting buckets. I'm not kidding.
An hour and a half?
Yeah. Because I was just so exhausted after the shitting commenced.
Wow.
It was buckets.
Yeah.
So I had to just like kind of sit there for a little while.
Yeah. Just like sit on the toilet and like
process.
Like take inventory of like
process what happened.
Yeah. Okay. So, but when they get back from their little trip, they end up going to dinner, and they go to a restaurant in town, and he's wearing some like dumbass disguise. It's like obviously not actually disguising him at all.
Dumbass disguise.
Yeah. Well, and they have a conversation about
it's off season. Like, who cares about this man?
I mean, to be fair, it's like, okay, if he is as famous of a soccer player as they're making him out to be.
I guess I would know. I would know who.
If I see like Cristiano Ronaldo in a restaurant, I'd be like, oh my god, that's Cristiano Ronaldo. Like,
sure.
You know, I don't know if I would go up to him, but you know, people,
I'm sure people would.
Men would go up. Yeah, people would. So regardless, they're sitting there and they're talking about their relationship status and what they want. And this girl is like, yeah, like, I want you to, like, you know, treat me as a girlfriend in every way. Like, I want you to hold my hand. I want you to fuck me. I want you to not see anyone else. I want you to be there when I'm sad. I want you to pick me up and drop me off to work every day. Like, but you're not going to call me.
Scroll.
Yeah, she went,
you know, like when you go like,
yeah, and it goes, yeah.
Yeah.
And then she was like, but we're not going to call each other boyfriend and girlfriend.
What I love to always say is that, like, he should always be your boyfriend. You should never be his girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love to say that to myself. I don't say it to anybody, like other people, but I say it in my head. And then I try to make that come to fruition, and it just doesn't.
Right. Well, you know, good for her. She kind of chewed. She was like,
yeah, no.
On my terms.
Yeah, period.
Yeah. And he's so down bad. He's like, I'll literally do anything you want me to. Anyway.
Yeah, we just gotta move.
We gotta move on. Someone comes up to them though, and then she's like, but like, I cannot handle these paps and all of the attention that's on me right now. And he's like, okay, well then we can just continue our relationship in secret for the rest of the summer, and then we can deal with what happens next later.
Right.
Which is what they decide to do. For me, now is when it like escalates so quickly. I feel like the next chapter started with like it's been 2 weeks now. We fuck every morning. We have dinner, like a romantic dinner every single night. I moved into his apartment. Like,
don't piss me off.
They literally like the way she described it, it was like one sentence of like, we have moved into a very relationship-y place within the span of like 24 hours. God, I mean, hear our prayer.
Please.
But
in the church pew, please.
She goes to some rehearsals for her show. She does a bad job, or she feels like she does a bad job, and she's like really upset about it. Moving on.
Doesn't Asher show up too to the rehearsals?
Yeah, he does.
I think that would also make me crash out. That's another thing that would make another thing that would make me crash out.
Don't show up to no.
No.
You already know I'm so nervous and anxious about this. Don't show up.
Yeah.
They go on their first official date. He like planned this elaborate like thing of them they get like a professional cooking class from a very famous like Michelin star chef, and then they have him he has him bring out an actual meal because he's like, I know you can't cook. I don't want to eat poison. So, yeah.
Damn.
They have like he sets up a really cute dinner date for them. And they have one of their 1 million like really intense conversations about their emotions and their lives. I don't know.
Yeah.
She talks about how she had an ex-boyfriend in the past who was also a soccer player. And how he left her after she got into her car accident.
I want to be like her so bad.
I know, like, how are you bagging all of these hot soccer players?
It's going back to Icebreaker when everybody was calling Stassi a jersey chaser.
And I want to be one.
Yeah, how do you get in that industry?
I would love to know her secrets. Like, the tricks of the trade, share them with me.
You have to be a size 2 for starters. And apparently you need to be able to do the splits on the dick.
Oh, okay, that counts me out.
Do neither of those things.
That counts me way out. So... yeah, they have that date. Then there's a chapter where now they're in the bath. Oh, if you want to take it from here.
Yeah, so they're in the bathtub, and then Vincent just walks into her apartment. Well, I mean, of course he knocks, but then he just shows up there, and Asher is just like sitting in the bathtub, and he's like, oh, do you have somebody in the shower? And she was like, yeah, I'm sleeping with somebody from rap, whatever. And then he's like, I guess I'll go give them a talking to. Like, do you want to see who's peeing?
I don't understand why you're so obsessed with me.
Yeah. Vincent just leaves.
Yeah, he goes.
That's that.
Yeah, he leaves.
She's like, stop being weird. I'm like, you're being weird. And then he just leaves. I wish we could have had this conversation over a phone call.
Literally. You
or not at all.
Come into my home and act a fucking mess.
Yeah, also he came all the way from France to not eat Chinese food with her.
Yeah. He was so upset that he was like, I'm taking the Chinese food and I'm going back to France.
Yeah, like all the way from France.
Now, in that same scene, Asher gets a phone call about this charity soccer match that he's doing, basically saying that one of the players on his team
we're close.
Is dropping out, or he can't make the match. And so he's like, Scarlett, please ask your brother. I'm not gonna ask him because that's my nemesis.
I just tooted. I'm really, really sorry. I'm really sorry.
I can't smell anything.
There was no controlling that toot.
It was so silent, I'm scared it's gonna be deadly.
It was really small. I think it'll be okay. But just in case
there's no controlling that toot.
just in case the toot is bad. Just giving
Thanks
you
for
a
the warning.
warning.
Thanks for the warning, yeah. But he's like, Scarlett, please ask your brother because I can't ask him. That's my enemy. She asks him, and he's like, fine.
That's my enemy!
I'll do it for charity. So, at the actual game... Wait.
Yeah, at the actual game, they
Yeah.
show up, and yet another one of Scarlett's ex-boyfriends shows up. Not yet another one. Another soccer player that Scarlett has been in a relationship with is also there. What? I need to know her secrets.
I know.
I want to meet her so bad. And he's basically taunting Vincent and Asher, and they get into a straight up brawl on the pitch.
Yeah, literally.
That word
Brawl.
is literally used on the pitch.
Yeah.
A brawl.
First of all, this game is for charity.
Yeah, there's like little kids here.
No, like literally, like, and they take it so seriously. Like Asher,
They're like,
and
they
Vincent
team
are like-
up. They team up for the first time ever in the whole book to
Yeah.
defeat this man at the charity match.
I was like, it's actually getting really comical right now.
It's so...
It's getting really comical. I was like, you guys, what the fuck? Couldn't you just have had their team play his team later when the season starts back up again?
Yeah, then
like,
I would maybe actually care who won.
Right, because then it's like, okay, the game ended... First of all, they were playing so intensely that the score came out to 4-3. This is a lot. That's a lot.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's a good amount of... That's a lot, I think. So, we're playing for charity. Calm down.
Yeah.
And they're like... Literally,
And also,
like,
we already brawled.
like, pack it up.
And then they go outside. The game
Yeah.
ends, and they go outside, and Scarlett is waiting for Vincent and Asher to come out, and she's waiting by one of the exits, and the ex-boyfriend comes up to her and is a huge dick, and he's like, well, now that you're back to normal, I guess we can get back together.
Yeah.
And she's like, no,
No.
you were not there for me when this happened, and I'm not back to normal, and the fact that you want me to be back to normal after something so traumatic happened to me, and you made it worse because you slept with somebody else while I was recovering.
Yeah.
And then Asher comes out and they start brawling.
Again.
Yet again. The second brawl.
Yeah. 2 brawls in one evening. Imagine that. Imagine.
I've never even seen one brawl in an evening.
But like the idea of like my really hot, sexy soccer
He
man,
does win the brawl.
like decking my shitty ex-boyfriend in the face, like it's just
the idea of your ex-boyfriend getting hit in the face.
in particular, yeah. But like in general, a great like visual.
That actually really just chilled me out.
No, right? Like suddenly I felt like a calmness go through my body.
Me too. Actually.
Yeah. It's crazy how that works. And
I've
of
never
course,
broken a bone, but like I seriously would break all my knuckles to punch that man in the face.
Yeah. They obviously go to the Angry Board to celebrate because they're celebrities. And at this...
Where is the Angry Boar in relation to everyone's home? Like, how can we all be at the Angry Boar all the time?
They're always coming from either their homes or the stadium or RAB. And I guess it's equidistant. It must be in the literal center of London.
Okay.
That's what I'm imagining. Yeah. So they're there. And...
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Everybody gets so drunk, and Asher and Vincent are like finally starting to like chill out and be normal. While Vincent is flirting with Brooklyn on the dance park arena.
I know.
I'd be like, I don't get either one of them. I'd be so
Where's
mad.
mine?
Yeah. Don't worry, girl. Yours is coming.
Yeah.
But he's too busy flirting with Brooklyn on the dance floor, and Asher and Scarlett are just flirting and being a little handsy by the bar.
Yeah. It hurt me right here.
That calm and peace that I just felt.
It just lifted away.
Yeah.
Immediately. Instantaneously, it's gone. Yeah. I need that. Hashtag need that. Seriously. Seriously.
I feel the way I feel right now, I feel like I could peel the foundation off my face with my fingernails right now. That's how I feel.
Jesus.
It was so sexy and it was so upsetting.
It was.
And I have no idea what happens next.
Yeah. Well, they have... My boy goes back to France. So they have like about a week left
How
until
did he get there?
Get where?
How did he get back to France? He was so drunk.
Probably the next... He's drunk for the rest of the book.
Also,
Like,
does he need a passport to get back and forth?
yeah, but he has one.
Oh, but I guess like when you go through the border on Canada, you don't have to like go in anywhere. You can just like hand your passport, I guess.
You also, like, he probably took the train there.
But he's too famous. That's why they go to the angry board. This doesn't make sense.
You're right. But they have about a week left until Vincent comes back, like, fully for this season. And they're both really excited to, like, you know, have this last week, you know, to, like, really indulge in their relationship. However, that immediately is squashed because Asher's like, I have to go to Japan to film a watch commercial.
Why not?
And then she's like, oh, boo. And he's like, what if you come with me?
And she's like, well,
Wait,
yes.
yeah.
Immediately is like,
Well, yes.
Well, yes.
Yeah. So they go to Japan. And
to be fair, I would also be like, well, yes.
well, of course.
I feel like nothing important really happens in Japan.
No.
They just do a bunch of really extravagant dates, and he takes her on a helicopter ride, and then they come home.
They come home, but I will say that at that dinner, they decide, she's like, yeah, you can be my boyfriend now. That's when they decide to be boyfriend and girlfriend.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
What?
You guys were obviously already dating. He brawled for you twice in one night.
Well, yeah, but she's like,
Well, also what's
on my
funny about this is that the brawling in twice in one night was not enough for her to be like, you're my boyfriend. No, had to go to Japan.
yeah, that first. Oh, also, actually, this is important. She tells him that night before, she's like, okay, we can be boyfriend and girlfriend. She's like, one thing is, it's really important to me that you stop racing. Like,
This street racing is like really important to him. It comes up many, many times in the book.
yeah. And
It's like his favorite hobby.
yeah, he has...
The word street cred was even used.
Yeah.
Which scares me a little bit.
Yeah, but
Street cred.
he has like 1 million like fancy like luxury cars. Like, he loves this shit, but she's like, I really can't stand the idea of you getting hurt in an accident.
Would that
of you
be
driving.
enough for you to be like, I can't date you? I think the brawling and street racing would be enough for me to be like, you're weird.
The street racing for sure, I'd be like,
Like,
what the fuck?
that's weird. I'd be like, wait, what?
You can deck someone in the face for me one time, maybe twice. You know, if you're like really defending my honor. But if you're on the pitch of the charity match, there's no reason for you to be brawling.
Yeah, that's the thing.
When Raphael was telling me, like, let's get back together, and I was like, fuck off, yeah, you can deck him then.
Mm-hmm.
I needed you to. But on the pitch, there's no need to be brawling.
I really hope at least once in my life a man gets in a fight over me. At least once. I deserve that.
I paid my dues.
I've dated enough... I'm gonna cut this out, but I've dated enough skinny men to deserve a man that's gonna fight for my honor.
I'm telling you, girl. Oh my god. But yeah, she's like, I really need you to stop. And he's like, okay, that's done. I'm not gonna do any more street racing. I'm retired. And she's like, okay, they can be boyfriend and girlfriend.
I don't have any more street cred. I'm retired.
Yeah. Now, when Vincent gets back from France, they're like, okay, we have one last practice that is just us two before Vincent rejoins our cross training.
Oh. They fuck in the dance studio bad. Like, bad. Like, it's bad. She's, like, doing the splits on the bar, but in a hot way. He's, like, bending her backwards over the bar and eating her out and making her come, period. He's, like, bending her forwards over the bar, fucking her over the bar. By the way, picture a room covered in mirrors and classical music is playing. Whoa! She must have taken shrooms or something. She must have.
She had, I don't know, something happened and her like mind.
Her third eye opened.
You know, like her mind expanded into places that I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I could give you fucking in the dance studio, but not the way she wrote it.
No, like, I was reading that and I was like, whoa! Like, I was genuinely like, I have to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I was so like, I have to go to the gym right now. Like, I have to get this energy out.
Yeah.
Because I literally feel like I'm gonna put my head in a wall right now.
Yeah. I'm about to open that window and jump out of it, frankly.
Yeah. Head going straight in the oven. Like, I literally was like, this is too much. It was so good. Which is why we say also that their first sex scene is like, eh. Compared to this,
crazy. Yeah.
no contest. Mm-hmm. No contest.
Mm-hmm. But I'm glad she made us work for it a little bit.
Me too. Yeah. I feel like I earned it.
If this was the first sex scene, it would have been like, ugh.
Yeah, because then it's like, if I had this again, I would have been like,
No. It wouldn't have been like, ugh. It would have been like, there's nothing that could, like, I can't focus on anything else anymore.
Right, because I already had the, yeah, gotcha. Mm-hmm. So then Vincent comes back the next day. They are, you know, doing their cross training together, and they plan on telling him that day that they're seeing each other. But then immediately Vincent's like, hey, by the way.
Also, they're at the Angry Bar.
Yeah. They're like, hey, by the way, thanks for not fucking my sister.
And then they go to the dance studio, and he's like, thanks for not fucking my sister. And then 20 minutes later in the dance studio, he's like, thanks for not fucking my sister. And
yeah.
Asher's like, ooh.
Oh, fuck. So he's like, we're not telling him shit.
Fair enough.
We're not telling him anything. And so they start their season back up, and they start practicing again, and they're clearly starting to get along a lot more. So like they're feeling like this is gonna be our year. Like we're gonna.
There's also a scene for some reason where they start an erotic dinosaur book club.
Honestly, I told him to block that.
It was just I don't know what the joke is.
I don't get it. And this is the same joke that they made in that one book we read by Emily Henry, the something erotica. Is this like
erotica?
Yeah, the Bigfoot erotica. Like, what is this about? Like, is this something? Are we missing something?
I don't know, but it's not funny.
I don't know if we missed some kind of joke.
It wasn't funny the first time, and it's not funny now.
But I don't find it funny.
Oh my god, people read smut. I don't care if it's dinosaur smut. You know what? Frankly, to each their own.
I'm not icking your yum, I guess.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, I guess I kind of did when we read The Fourth Wing, and I definitely yucked a lot of people's young. But
a lot, yeah.
You know what I mean. But like, I'm not yucking their young so much that I'm putting it in a book.
Yeah.
And making fun of them.
Yeah.
I'm just like, am I really in a position to be judging anybody's book taste? I don't really think so. And frankly, I don't think you are either, Ana Huang, after you wrote the DC Mafia. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Deadass.
I have no idea.
Yeah, like, don't do too much.
Yeah, let me bring up the material.
Yeah. The source material, yeah. So they basically decide they're like, we're on a truce, and they start to, you know, get back into the season. Now, after one of their practices, the whole team goes to the Angry Boar again, and they run into Asher's old team, and they get into an argument.
Almost a brawl, but
Almost, but not quite. And then one of his old teammates is like, what if we street raced right now?
Why does everybody street race too, by the way? Like, it's not, like, I feel like it'd be one thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I maybe would be, like, a little bit less confused if it was, like, just Asher.
Yeah.
I'd still be confused, but, like...
It seems like every single person in this book that's a man is street racing. Because earlier in the book we didn't mention it, but he street races with Clive.
Yeah.
So, what's going on?
I don't know.
Like, what's happening? But he's like...
It's like she rolled dice and was like, what's the hobby gonna be?
That everyone has across the board. But Asher's like, no, I'm not street racing you.
I've got a bitch now.
I got a bitch now, and I'm strong, and I'm not gonna fold. I'm not street racing you. And so he's like, yeah, I'm a bigger person than that. Sorry. And he leaves.
And he's like, okay, you've kind of been saying that for 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he's still lingering around. He's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
He's like, okay, I'm gonna call an Uber.
Everyone else is like slowly drifted away.
Yeah.
He's still standing there.
Yeah. Took you so long to get my joke. And the way my eyes kind of dropped a little bit, I was like, oh, she didn't get it.
It hit me slowly.
Okay.
Yeah, but then he's like, you know what? We're gonna settle this at our game this weekend because their team and his old team are gonna be
kick
playing.
Your arse.
Yeah. Wow.
That's British for
yeah.
ass.
British. And they're like, we're gonna settle this on the pitch.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so the day of the actual game comes around, and that morning, Scarlett's planning on going to the game with her girlfriends. But before they even leave her apartment, she passes out. And
she hits her head on the friggin' table.
Yeah.
That hurt. I could feel that in the back. I could feel that, like, right here in my back.
Yeah.
In my lower back. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie.
Yeah.
Anyways, I hate to make light of her situation, but she goes, this is hospitalization number 3. And Asher, of course, skips the game and rushes to the hospital to be by her side. And then Vincent shows up after the game, because Vincent had his phone off. So he didn't...
get the calls.
Yeah, he didn't know. And
the thing is, the Paps get a video of him running into the hospital, and
I'm also picturing like him running like on tiptoes.
I mean, you remember how Zac Efron would run in High School Musical?
I'm picturing. Have you seen the zebra from Madagascar?
No way.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I'm picturing that. But anyways, the Paps get a photo of him running like a zebra from Madagascar.
And they put it on BBC News within 5 minutes. Like
MSNBC,
like
posting it.
And they have it on there within minutes. Everyone knows. And so, yeah, Vincent shows up after the game.
And just, they brawl.
They brawl
in the hospital.
Her hospital room.
And then one of the friends is like, you guys need to grow the fuck up. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing brawling in her hospital room? And they're like, you're right, we shouldn't brawl.
You're right, I'm 30. I shouldn't do that. Like, yeah. And so obviously
it was kind of giving, Noah, look at me.
Yeah, it was. You wish that was you, huh?
I do. Because here's the thing about that is that, like, I've always wanted to do that, but, like, the thing is you do that, and they, for some reason, they get mad at you.
Yeah.
Like, suddenly it's your fault.
You're the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I've ever done it, but I've certainly been in similar situations where you try to calm a man down from whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And he, like...
It's like, bitch, get off me. And you're like, oh.
Oh, got it.
Oh. Now, he gets in trouble by... Coach is like, you're on timeout. You're on the bench for the foreseeable future.
Get out of here.
How dare you miss a game? Bitch, my girlfriend was hospitalized.
Yeah, I guess not good enough. I guess it has to be immediate family. Because Vincent doesn't get in trouble. Oh, but Vincent doesn't miss the game.
Yeah. So, I don't know. He gets benched, and he's not happy about it. And then, after one of the practices, the entire team comes out, and they see that someone keyed into the side of Asher's Lambo, the name Judas.
They also call it a Lambo in the book. She's not, like, making that up.
I'm not. Dead ass, like, they're like, my fucking orange Lambo with the red interior. Like, there's literally, someone carved the name Judas into the side.
That is so ridiculous.
The Judas? Fucking drama.
Yeah.
Calm down. But they're like...
Do sports teams actually act like that?
I don't know.
I feel like no. I feel like if my friend was on a team and then they were offering him more money, I'd be like, yeah, go.
Yeah.
More money. I don't care if I get to lose.
Yeah.
I get paid whether we win or not, frankly.
Dead ass.
Idgaff.
Literally idgaff. But, you know, they're all like, it must have been your other team. We have to go to the Angry Boar immediately. So they all go.
And they go
there.
Is anyone shocked?
No.
They challenge Asher to a street race. And also, why just Asher?
I know! They walk in there and...
Why can't Asher be like, yo, I can't street race. We need to
someone else.
Sub in. Who's it gonna be? Vincent?
Anyone, takers, anyone, yeah. And everyone's like,
Everyone's like, no, this is a weird hobby that you have.
I'm here to support you, but, like, I'm not doing this.
Anyways, and Asher, of course, does it, and then, frankly, of course he gets into an accident.
Yeah, duh.
Of course he does.
Yeah, it cuts to Scarlet.
That's hospitalization number 4, and these happen, like, back to back.
Yeah.
So, like, they're spending, like, so much time, and, like, when he started to do the street racing thing, I was like, I was like, no way this ends up with him going to the hospital right after she went to the hospital. And it did.
I feel like I audibly
lazy.
Went like, ugh. I literally was like, ugh. Because it cuts to Scarlett and her girlies and they're having a sleepover and then she gets like a news alert that he's on the way to the hospital.
Once again, MSNBC. On the way to the hospital.
And I'm like, girl.
And so she rushes to the hospital to be by his side.
Those two need to get, like, they need to start paying rent.
Yeah. At the hospital.
For that hospital room.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And she checks in with him and she's like, oh, thank God you're okay. And then she's like, of course, like, what happened? And he's like, ooh.
He was silenced. Like, he didn't speak. And she was like, oh, you street raced.
Yeah, the fact that he couldn't even man up and say it.
There's something about a man who can't man up and say it.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate a man that can't man up and say it.
I can't even get
You're
there.
so pathetic.
You're so pathetic. You are so pathetic. Like, is it not the consequences of your own actions?
Oh my God, look, I'm serving Ariana Grande. How big my sleeves are.
Yeah.
Remember when there were, like, all those vines about, like, Ariana Grande washing her hands?
Yes! Oh, God. Well, she's like, yeah. No. I told you the one thing, like, I can't fucking do is this.
She's, like, so slay because she breaks up with him. He's in the hospital.
Yeah, and she's like...
in his hospital bed. And she's like... I told you not to do that.
Bye. Yeah, period.
Could never be me. I could never do that.
And I would have been like, dude,
yeah.
But you're not gonna do it next time, right?
Well, that's strike 1.
Yeah.
Out of 15.
You have 15 more chances.
Good news! It's like a game show. Yeah. I, like, spin a wheel. I'm like, let's see how many chances.
Every single one of them says 100.
And then, like, the tiny sliver, like, jackpot one is 1 billion, and he somehow lands on that one. And he's like, honestly, I don't really want 1 billion chances.
He's like, actually, I kind of hope you break up with me. Please do.
Not too much. Not funny.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah, she breaks up with him. It gets so somber all of a sudden. But we get like several chapters of both of them boohooing. Like, they're both boohooing. He is not only concussed.
I also would consider this a miscommunication trip, I'm not
Yes.
gonna lie, because they both were sad about the breakup and neither of them did anything about it.
Yeah.
I obviously know, like, she shouldn't have given him a second chance, but if you're this sad about the breakup, like, you should just go talk to him about it.
Yeah. Just talk
about it. At least go talk to him.
At least
about
have
it.
a conversation about it. If
Yeah.
you're like this much like.
And if the conversation doesn't go well, well then sure, pull the plug. But like,
yeah,
if you're boohooing, as you said,
yeah, they're really both down bad. He's not only concussed, but he is still on the bench because the coach is like, not only did you miss the game, but then you went and did that reckless shit and got yourself in a car accident.
And
got
he's
yourself
acting like
concussed.
his dad.
Yeah, like, girl, you need to back off a little bit.
I'm sorry, I burped.
That's okay.
There's just my bowels today.
But, you know, he can't do anything. He's belly aching a lot. She's also belly aching, but she's getting ready for her dance performance, so she's doing that. Then we get this one chapter where, like, he gets confronted by both his father and Vincent within the span of 2 hours. They both show up to his house. The dad shows up and is, like, yelling at him about, like, 10 different things. And then somehow, some way, manages to convince him or put the idea on the table that, like, the reason why Asher street races and does all this reckless shit is because he never, like, got over the death of one of his, like, childhood friends, which he mentioned very briefly earlier in the book, but I was just like, what?
I don't know. And then Vincent also is, like, telling him that he needs to go get back with Scarlett or whatever he's saying.
Yeah.
Frankly, Idgaff. But also, when Vincent does it, Asher says the line that I hate the most more than anything can anyone ever say. He says it, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, is it fucking pick on Asher Day? Mm-hmm. Does that count as gaslighting? I feel like that's gaslighting.
Girl, poor you. You did this. Like, I don't... oh my god.
Frankly, I think you should kill yourself.
Oh.
What if I said that? I'm gonna say that the next time a man says that to me. Frankly... Oh, I don't know. Is it pick on Asher Day? Well,
It's definitely-
your socks are stupid. Your pants are too low. Your shirt is too tight.
I mean, if you want me to pick on you, I certainly can. I certainly can. Don't threaten me with a good time.
I remember, I don't know, one time our friend sent me a photo of Annie's ex's legs and said, whose legs are these? And it upset me. His legs were so scary looking in those little shorts with the socks and the Converse that are 7 sizes too big. I did know exactly whose legs they were, but it was not funny. I laughed.
Yeah, it wasn't funny. I mean, it was funny, but it was like, oh, wow, I can't believe this is my leg.
Can't believe this happened to me.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're not the only one to fall for it.
Yeah. But we then get, like, a cut to 2 weeks later, and basically Asher gets called into the coach's office, and the coach is like, you know what? I heard you've been seeing the team counselor. You're back on the team. Like, you can play again. You're back in the starting lineup. And he's like,
graduated therapy.
yeah, what the fuck? I really didn't like this. Like,
if you're gonna touch on mental health, then, like, you should flesh it out and, like,
Yeah.
touch on it. I just tooted. There was no...
The way it's taking you by surprise is alarming me.
Like, there was no holding that toot in.
What's happening?
I don't know, but, like, you know how most of the time you decide if you fart?
Yeah. You can't decide.
That was true. I had no...
Your ass is deciding for you. No way. No way. Okay.
What are we talking about? Oh yeah, if you're gonna do mental health, you might as well, like, flush it out. And if you're gonna be, like, two things of therapy, you're back on the team. If you want a happy ending, maybe don't touch on mental health. To be quite frank.
It's just very dismissive to say, to, like, kind of out of nowhere shoehorn a mental health issue into a character just to, like, wrap up loose ends and then have them overcome their said mental health
especially
crisis.
if it really was about the death of a loved one that happened when he was a teenager. Like, frankly, that is not something that you get over probably ever.
No, that's what I'm saying. That is significant trauma, and I would completely understand if that is actually the reason. But also, there was no precedent at all in this book up until the dad said that for me to believe that, like, I at no point in the book was I like, this man's kind of reckless as fuck. I never thought that. I actually thought the whole time he was actually very, like,
Except for the street racing.
Except for the street racing.
And the brawling.
Yeah, but like the brawling is kind of like par for the course. The street racing, I was like, okay, yeah, that's a little odd, but like everything else, when he's with his girl or when he's out in life, like it was just giving like he's a very stable, normal person. So I don't know. Maybe I missed some things that I should be made aware of.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, but I don't know. I was just kind of like, I don't know about this. But then once he's back on the team, he's like, he gets the entire team, soccer team. You farted again, didn't you? What happened?
It's just so ridiculous.
Oh.
What's supposed to happen next? So.
He gets the entire soccer team to go with him to Scarlett's dance academy. And he has them all line up outside the school with one of his luxury cars.
Also, I have one grievance before she continues this. Is this the entire 30 people soccer team and the water boy?
Yeah.
Also, if I'm the coach, I would be like,
where's my Bugatti?
Yeah, I didn't get one.
Yeah, what the hell?
And then, or is it just like the starting lineup or like his friends that are in the Dinosaur Erotica book club?
Yeah, I was imagining the most ridiculous shit ever. So I was imagining the whole team.
I feel like it doesn't matter whether it's 8 or 30. It's still insane.
I mean, yeah, totally insane. But I'm like literally imagining like an egregious amount of people. Like, like the whole team, the bench, the people, the water boy, the coach, the coach assistant.
A couple fans.
Yeah, like literally just so many people lined up with a different expensive car. And Scarlett is in the building, and Karina comes up, and she's like, girl, you gotta come outside and see what the fuck is going on out
If I'm Karina, I'm like, girl, I got pick of the litter.
Yeah, she's like, ooh!
Yeah.
But she's like, she walks outside, and basically Asher's like, I gave every single one of my luxury cars away so that you would know that I'm serious.
He gave them away to, like, someone he knows.
I know.
So,
but also, like, if he came and tried to give me a Bugatti, I'd be like, I don't need a Bugatti.
Well, he doesn't try to give her a Bugatti.
No, I'm saying, like, he gives them...
What does a Bugatti even look like?
That's a good question.
I hate that name. Bugatti is awful.
It's so gross. But he's like, I just want you to know I'm serious, that, like, when I'm giving away my cars...
No more street racing.
No more street racing. And she folds like a chair, and she's like, I love you.
I don't blame her for folding like a chair at all.
I mean, she wanted to get back together with him. She just needed him to do, like, a
He just needed to be the one to...
initiate it and apologize. So...
She's stronger than me.
I can't blame a girl boss, can I? She's stronger than me too. But then I'm pretty sure this is where the book ends, and then we have the longest epilogue of all time. I'm gonna try and speed through this epilogue. It was so long.
Romance novels do not need epilogues.
I'm fine with they don't. I agree.
They don't. Like, epilogues are meant for, like, dramas or, like, fantasy where it's like, well, what happens next? It's like, okay, the couple got together. I don't care what happens next.
Yeah. If it wasn't important, just put it in the actual book.
Yeah, if you're going to write an epilogue, they better be broken up.
Give me something juicy. Shock me for once. Yeah, it was just like, I was listening to it and I was like, it's never ending. Oh my God. One, it's like 6 months down the line. He gets her for her birthday.
That's not an epilogue. This is just a chapter in the book.
No, literally, because the book takes place in the exact same kind of timeline.
Yeah.
He takes her to, like, a national library for her birthday and brings her favorite author and all to, like, come sign copies of her favorite books.
Hannah Grace, this is going to be you and I one day.
I know, which actually I was like, this is an amazing gift. Amazing gift. But there was, like, some tension between him and the author's husband, which was very random and, like, but, like,
why is it in the epilogue?
I thought it was only poignant because, like,
He's gonna come up later.
He's gonna come up later. I think that he might be the one who ends up with Karina in the threequel.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, that was important, I suppose. But
not really, because I'm not gonna read that one.
Yeah. And then the next part of the epilogue is them. Oh, he wins the Premier League season with Vincent. They win. Hooray! Congrats to them. Then she goes to...
Kid gaff.
Yeah. Then she goes to see... Or she has her performance, her faculty performance, and she does a great job, and congrats to her. But then she goes to... one of her students has a performance, and on the way to the performance, her and Asher run into Josh and Jules. I'm going to put my head in the oven. Why are they in the UK?
They're there because, like, her partner invited everybody, which, like, to me, says that... Because I would assume, like, if she went to law school in D.C., I would assume she wants to practice in D.C. Like, most people that do D.C. stuff normally tend to stay there.
Yeah.
So, like, if you went to law school in DC, I can't imagine you would move to the UK.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure you would be able to practice law. Like, I assume it'd be harder. You'd
Well,
have to pass the bar in the UK.
We're
doing too much.
Yeah.
I don't think she lives there. I don't think so.
So
that means that, like, she flew out to go watch someone's daughter.
No. And the thing is, of all the characters...
Yeah, I feel like I actually could have understood Alex and Ava, because they were always just doing shit.
She was always flying to a country for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But Josh and Jules, like, those are...
Or the prince and the princess.
Yeah. These two... Talk about a nemesis.
That was... that was just to piss you off.
No, like, literally, Ana Huang put that in there just to piss me off. Oh, I got pissed. This is when I was like, okay, I'm putting it on triple time speed. Hurry up and end it. So then... There's like a scene, I honestly don't even...
Was there still more?
Yeah, I know. There's a scene, to be frank, again, I'm listening to it at a egregious speed that I don't even think I'm really hearing it. The buzz went into my ear. But they're at some kind of holiday party or something, and I think they end up fucking in a closet. I don't know. They make out in a closet. They're kissing.
You know what? I definitely read part of the epilogue. As soon as I saw Jules and Joss, I was like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah. But that's the whole book. That's it. It ends there. It ends them on a happy note. I don't know why we had to put all
Almost
that in
like
the
we
epilogue.
didn't need an epilogue.
Right. We could have just ended it with the I love
I'm
you.
actually okay. I hate to bring up Hannah Grace again, but I'm actually okay. Like, if the epilogues intertwined and we got to see what the other characters were doing, like Hannah Grace is doing with Icebreaker, I'd be like, I can see why, like, people that actually like the books and the characters care or want that.
Yeah.
But if it's just an epilogue, for the sake of having an epilogue, you just write another, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just call it chapter 37.
Yeah, literally.
That's
it's
fine.
not an epilogue. And the thing is, though, like, our friend who has all the intel, I know she, like, if she read this, she would read that epilogue and be like, oh my god, Josh and Jules.
But it doesn't matter.
No, yeah, it's inconsequential for sure, because it's just like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
okay, bye. Like, it was so quick. But it pissed me off nonetheless. Yeah. So, what do you give this book?
This is probably like a 2 out of 5. It was just fine. I didn't hate it as much as you clearly did, but the street racing was just egregious. The amount of hospitalizations, it's like, okay. Hospitalizations. It's just like, okay, well, I guess you need something dramatic to move the plot along, and it felt pretty lazy, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I feel like it's my main criticism about it. Yeah, first time, second time.
Okay.
I could even say, like, she's clearly got a chronic pain, chronic injuries. I don't know what the proper terminology would be, but I would actually be like, okay, makes sense that she would end up at the hospital at some point.
Yeah.
When she went to the hospital, I was like,
yeah, that makes sense.
She hit her head pretty bad. I'm following.
Yeah.
And I see how she fell, and I see it makes sense.
Yeah.
She also has a history. It makes sense.
Yeah.
When he went, I was just like, because I feel like, it could have just been Asher Donovan's street races.
Yeah.
And that could have been the headline if it was gonna pop up on her phone anyway.
Yeah, she could have gotten like a TMZ alert.
Yeah.
Of like a passerby who was like, ooh, is that Asher Donovan?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, he had to go to the hospital. I mean.
But it does get a 2 because of the one sex scene. In the ballet.
Yeah. I give
it.
it a 2.5. I agree with the 2. I didn't hate it. Listen, I
actually didn't hate it.
Yeah.
But I just, like, it's not very good.
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't hate it. I definitely liked it leaps and bounds more than all the other Ana Huang books I've read, personally. I liked, he's probably the best male main character we've read of hers, like we said. It's just like, again, there's a lot of things in the book that is just like silly for no reason.
Yeah, and it's also 500 pages, which is just so long, and it's like, maybe if we cut it down to like one hospitalization, maybe we could have cut like 200 pages down, and like maybe the book would have been a little bit more
condensed.
I will be honest, I think the fact that it was that long leads to like a lot of lazy plot devices.
Yeah.
And I don't know why she wants it to be 500 pages.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about people thinking that a book has to be good if it's a certain length.
No, girl.
No, it does not. If you can make your point
200.
If you can make your point in 150 pages or less, then you can make your point.
Yeah.
Making it 500 pages and making the same scene happen 6 times.
No.
You might as well just
We don't need the Imaginator 1D formula. Let that go.
No.
We don't need that. Again, it was just like a lot of lazy plot devices, a lot of things that were unnecessary. Condense all the deep talks into like 2.
Yeah.
And then
maybe I'll actually care.
And then, I don't know, figure out something else for the dialogue. There were inner dialogue, outer, like the conversation. Sometimes it was just like, people don't speak like this.
I guess
you know what I mean?
I don't know. Not really. It didn't bother me.
Sometimes there were things that were cringe, like the Justice for Pluto thing.
Yeah, I will say, sometimes when I'm reading romance novels that are like, just like clearly just like a fun read, I'm like, this isn't fun for me, so I'm just not reading it.
Yeah, it's just like...
I'm reading it, but I'm not, like, I don't care.
It's pulling me out of it a lot. But again, I did enjoy it. more than all those other ones. And like, it was fine. It just wasn't like, you know,
Good.
yeah, it wasn't great. But I give it an extra 0.5, popping it up to a 2.5.
That amazing
because of that
scene.
amazing sex scene.
That
It
was a great sex scene.
phenomenal.
She
did
put
her
all
research.
of her heart and soul into that one.
She
And it
chewed.
worked.
Yeah. I know she spent days on that.
And
it shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank God for that. Thank you for your
Thank
service,
you.
Ana
Thank you so
Huang.
much. Like, seriously. Thank you.
I'm gonna read it again, probably after you leave.
Same when I go home.
On the Uber.
Probably not in the Uber.
Oh.
But yeah, if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, send to your friends.
Comment below your requests. That's where we're gonna see them the most.
Yes. We know this book like came out very recently, so if you just read it, let us know. Yeah, we'd love to know. We'd love to talk and gab. Please, we'd love to talk and gab.
And next week, and we will be back next week, we're gonna be reading How My Neighbor Stole Christmas, and it's gonna be good. Have you read it yet?
I'm like just starting it.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. So.
I love a Christmas read. It's the holidays.
Well, join us next week for that.
Bye.
Okay, get out of my home.
Ah.